Let's get started talking about the door station, the PoE splitter, and some spectrum updates for you. First off, all of our products are NDAA compliant. All right, TAA, you can put them on GSA, which means you can use them on federal government contracts without worrying about any issues. First product today is the MEGApix wide angle intercom door station. It's a really good camera in a unique form factor with some unique features. You've got your real-time recording as people walk up to it to either talk to it or press a button to ring a bell or chime or alert you via your network. You've got this wide angle lens, speaker and microphone built in, white light and IR LEDs built in, some tamper detection, and you can do access control integration via HTTP commands and Spectrum. It comes with our 5-year warranty. Now, for our people who like specs, get a spec page. The focal length is 2.3 millimeter with an f-stop lens of 2.2, which gives you almost infinite depth of field, so stuff in the background will still be in focus along with the people near it. IR goes out 10 feet because, again, we're expecting people to be in there trying to press a button. Built-in speaker and mic. The audio compression, the reason why you need to know this is we've noticed that the G711A works better than the U. So if you install one and you're not getting the right volume out of it, you switch it over to A instead of U. You've got an alarm in, you've got a door lock output, you have an LED indicator that gives you different things, including blue, green, and white. You've got video tamper detection, so God forbid someone spray painted the camera, it will alert you. Good to -4 to 122 degrees. Has all the certifications like FCC, CE rated. Tilting adapter and sun shield included. And again, our 5-year warranty. Web server built in and or 12 volt. Okay, so if you want to give it 12 volt power or PoE, have it run off. Again, NDAA compliant. IP65 rated, which means dust is not going to get inside of it, and it's water resistant. And again, our 5-year warranty. So we're going to talk camera config. Okay, so for setup, you can use our DW IP finder or Spectrum, or just use the default IP and go in the browser. I would use our IP finder. One of the things you'll have to do as far as security goes is change the default user from admin, change the admin password to set all the functions. Using the IP finder, it will detect the camera. This one happens to be on DHCP, so it gave it an IP address, gives you a MAC address. You can also bulk password assignment. Let's say you installed 20 cameras on a location. You can assign them all new passwords, assign them all IPs from a certain IP stream, or have them get it by DHCP. Change the codec on them, set the date and time, even do firmware updates for the cameras. So again, the IP Finder software is really well for your initial setup or finding rogue items on the network and things like that. A good one to have. But you can also dig in and see what the IP address is. This one is set for DHCP, but you can set it for static and change it to the IP scheme you want, or use the bulk IP assignment, choose a bunch of them, okay, and you can then go in and give them all. This is 192.168.30.58, 59, 60, 61, 62, and so on. You can go directly to the web page of the camera. You can restart it. You can even force it into factory default. And with the IP Finder, you can also get a thumbnail view of what each view of the camera looks like. Something just happened. Hold on a second, folks. That was different. There we go. We'll try that one more time. FYI, are you guys seeing my screen? Because everything just went blank on me and then came back. Yes, thank you, Gilbert. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Okay, I will continue on. All right. Let's see. There we go. All right. So inside the camera, you go to the setup you'll see you've got your resolution, your frame rate, your bit rate, all that stuff. This is the setup inside the camera. You don't need to do that. You can do all of these settings inside of Spectrum. Once you have the camera set up with the right username and password and all those things, you can do that. Next, we use that. This is the camera. It's set up in our training room. It gives you quite a wide view. We have a number of days recorded on here. About recording, you can go in and set your record frame rate, which I showed you on the other one, the bit rate, your quality level. You can even tweak the bit rate to a specific amount if you want. All right. You can set for continuous or motion record. And then my favorite is continuous plus motion. Sorry, guys. So you can and go in and set your motion events. I like continuous plus motion because it gives you that solid time bar. You can set up the motion record and still have it record the second stream, the low res stream continuously, and it gives you that unbroken time bar. So another setup feature of the camera is you can set your white light control for how long it'll stay on. So if someone hits a button or you use the person detection that's built into it, the light will turn on, making them react to look at it, and then you can press the button on it. This camera has a door lock output, and you can set the time, the duration, all that stuff, so you can have it trigger a mag lock or a striker. Built into the camera is motion detection, but we encourage you to use the motion detection in Spectrum because it's more granular. You can set different things. In this case, I didn't want this camera recording when the TV set changes, the lights flickered, or if someone's walking by here, but once they come in here, it'll record. It still gives me the continuous record at that low res stream just to say, hey, someone came over here and did something or left something there. So that's one way to set it up, and we encourage you to use the motion detection in Spectrum because it's better. You can get much more granular with them. Also, a built-in person detection will have more features coming in the future, but right now, built-in person detection allow it to turn on the light, do a couple of other things inside the camera. All right. You can also add users in this world of higher cybersecurity. You may not want to use the admin user. You can create another user called the system tech, whatever company information you want on there, give it the same administrative capabilities, and then a strong password. And in the case of some of these, you may want the time and the date and what the device is. That's what this OSD content is. You can put a device name like front door, side door, main garage door, the time and date format on there. You can change the format on it. So again, all the settings in there. These might be standalone, not talking to Spectrum, or you may want a little backup. So built into this device, as long as you're putting it in, very easy to slide in a micro SD card. I would suggest 32 gig or 64 gig, as big as possible. They're now gotten down and the price is pretty reasonable. And what it'll do is if there's a problem at the server, it'll still record what's going on at the camera here. Now, it's separate access. It's a separate web browser interface to play it back. It won't play back in Spectrum natively, but you will have it backed up at the device itself. We have this built into our other cameras. Don't normally talk about it because we have the CAS cameras, but this one, because it's performing other functions, having the backup would be great. And Craig asked really quick, can it be used standalone with the SD card recording and just use the web browser for viewing and playback? You are correct, Craig. This is your front interface. Okay, so this is where you log into it and you've got your motion detection view up here. But down here, I've got it here, it even says open door if you want. You got your audio and you can set your volume. From the factory, the volume at the unit is set at 50%. I think it's got to be 70 or 80% to get over some road noise so people aren't like, what did you say remotely? In the client, this is the web browser view. In the client, you've got your little speaker button here and you can talk back and forth with someone, or using the mobile app, they've got the same thing there and you can talk back at someone through the mobile app. Configuring it is easy. Of course, you got to just put in the correct username and password. I'm using admin, and then the admin password I changed it to, and enable both these and check it to use audio stream from this camera for the output. Now, if you want, you can do two-way audio. Let's say there is a very noisy area. You can add one of our speakers. We got the 15 watt and 30 watt speakers and use that as your extra audio source if it just happens to be a noisy area. So you can go in and have an extra audio source along with the audio source from the intercam. So again, this is a closer view. Enable audio, enable two-way audio, your credentials, your IP address, and you can get more information there. We're going to skip some of the other setup stuff because it's the same as a regular camera. You can go in here and adjust the codec, or you can have IP Finder change the codec. You do have for turning on, messing with the white balance and wide dynamic range, but the factory settings are very good. Now we're in Spectrum. If you notice, we're in the web page in Spectrum, and I dropped to this motion detection page because I wanted to encourage you to use motion detection that's in the camera, because we can do it better, more granularly, have different sensitivities for different parts of an area. You can proxy in and go to any web page on the camera or any device. If you have a switch, access control system, something like that, you can be in Spectrum, never have to leave Spectrum to go to these other devices as long as they have a web interface or web page. And I want to raise the volume control. That'll be great. You can also have that doorbell button send out an email, a mobile notification, desktop alert, execute a PTZ preset. So maybe someone clicks that button, you get a mobile notification, but also it executes a PTZ preset on another camera and creates a bookmark and maybe throws in an alarm output. You can have that one event do a whole bunch of items. You can set it on automatic, but I would set it for input 2. Input 2 is the button, and that'll allow it to trigger and do whatever it needs to do. So you go right mouse button, click on the camera, go to camera rules. You'll see you have some rules in there by default, and you can set up different items on it. If you want, you can create a button on the screen that'll appear on this side, and you can trigger this to lock and unlock a door from Spectrum. This way, someone could be there, they're trying to buzz in, you look at it, make sure they say who they are, and then you can go ahead and buzz them in. Let's see. Someone asked a good question. I'll do that one at the end. So that's the rules. Those are the different rules. We have the rules, of course, to create mobile notifications, sending emails, text overlay, make a sound, all these other ones. HTTP request, we have access control. We'll have more API information forwarding shortly for this. IP address, unlocking by admin, and then the login, admin username and password, keep content typed to auto. Anything that can affect Spectrum on an HTTP level or other level, you can have it send out an HTTP request. Now, let's talk a little bit about some extra stuff in Spectrum. Spectrum has a new way to get logs from it. Sometimes our tech support wants to look at the logs. Sometimes you may want to say, hey, what's going on inside this machine? It's acting a little weird. So you can just look at an error log, a debug log, see everything Spectrum is doing. You can change your settings, change the size, and download them directly from the client as long as you're an admin. So camera configuration in Spectrum. So now this is the wiring. You have a 12-volt power input. You can lock and unlock. This will work with two types of locks. One's called an anodic lock. I can't speak today. Is a power off door opening type, such as an electric mortise lock. I think that meets all the fire codes. And if power is not applied, it opens. If power is applied, it locks, is I believe how it works. And then there's the cathode lock. Okay, it's designed for those doors you want to lock that open both ways. You can use both types of locks on the system. Next thing is what comes with it. It obviously comes with the device itself. It has a tilting adapter bracket, the sun shield cover, the back box, back panel cover, and then all these little screws you need to install it, and an Allen wrench. The ideal height is 57 to 60 inches or 4'9" to 5 feet. Seems to be the best height. You want to get up near eye level for most people so you can clearly see their face. Part of the item goes together like this. You mount your cable in, and there's a set screw at the top, and you can secure it and hide it and make it pretty secure. So the sun shield is probably for most applications. Really good device, very easy to set up. Now we're going to jump over to a device we released a while ago. It's our OE splitter and extender. This is a simple device. Doesn't require spectrum, doesn't require an IP, doesn't require very much else. It'll split one 90 watt to two outputs. One will be 30, one will be 60, or 25-25. As long as it doesn't go above 30, it'll just split it normally. You can go up to 100 meters with it and then do the split. So in theory, you can carry this at least 640 feet. No power adapters required. Data and power is carried over the same cable. Really heavy duty built. I've personally put in a couple of these already because they make some stuff super convenient. You only have one cable out there. Someone else ran it that's run through, maybe it's a historical building, maybe there's something else going on with it that you can't just go out there and run another cable. You got your PoE extender, two cameras, PoE splitter, a camera, and an illuminator because it can send just so much power, or a camera and a speaker, which is the setups we've done. Again, it's really just a cool product. Saves you a lot of time, a lot of aggravation. It is designed to be outdoors in the elements. You get the cables right, you put them on there, screw it down tight, you're not going to get moisture in there, and away you go. A couple of times here in this building, it saved a lot of aggravation because we didn't have to run one extra cable for one camera or one speaker. So let's talk about some additions to Spectrum. Okay, I know you guys have probably been on one other webinar where we talked a little bit about some stuff. I'm sure some of you guys talked to our salespeople. So we've added this feature called Hotspot, okay, which allows you to tie one camera to other cameras, okay? So the example I have here is I've got a hotspot on this camera. It's right there with a little arrow pointing to it, and you'll see it'll open the camera that's next in the driveway next to it. And then I can hit another one and it'll open another camera on the same layout. And this is a really good feature if you want to follow someone or create a quick layout. You can have other cameras associated with other cameras much easier than looking down the list. You know that the camera next to it is just right there. Maybe there's a camera back over here that will open up the camera to the right side instead of the left side. So you can have the cameras associated with it on there. Cool, simple feature, simple to set up, simple to utilize. We don't always talk about the mobile client enough. So the mobile client, not that long ago, we added object search. You can choose a camera and you get camera settings, bookmarks, and objects. You can type in person and click it. Once it's playing back, you see this little down arrow. You can download 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes of video up to 10 into your phone from it. So there's a lot of features we're adding in as time goes on. We're going to have some exciting releases coming up in February and March in the lead up to ISC West.